Welcome to admin on Thursday, February 20th. Annie, roll call. Oh, sorry.
My computer. Okay. All right, looks like online we have Bethany Gunther, Cheryl Hartman, Christina Dewar, MCAT, Melissa Fisher, and Missoula Current. In 206, we have Commissioners Vero, Slotnick, and Strohmeyer, Ms. Lounsbury, Annie Cathy, Vinnie Pavlish, Andrew Chorney, Ann Hughes, and Griffin Smith.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? See anything? Onto the consent agenda, 3 items. Anything needs to be pulled out and discussed separately?
Really excited to see that we're going to have a modern crusher after years, like 6 years of messing with this.
Yes, it was 6
Really
years
good
of
thing.
messing, or
6
even
years,
longer.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Really
I mean,
great.
it is a 75-year-old crusher, isn't that
Yeah,
right?
something like that. And gravel is really expensive. And the fact that we can make our own saves us money.
Where's this gravel crusher located at?
Currently, as I say, it is technically mobile, but it spends most of its time in Miller Creek at our Miller Creek pit up at the top of Miller Creek.
Yeah, and there was mobile versus, I forgot the other term.
Stationary.
Well, no, one that you can drive and one that has to be trailered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the one that would be trailered.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And that had benefits to the one that you would have to drive.
we'd have to get specifics from Shane, but yeah, this was what they felt like was the.
I would have another engine that could break.
So.
And I'm not familiar with the Sealy Lake Farmers Market resolution.
Yes, as I say, so every year, actually, you do the Sealy Lake Farmers Market because they're
As you will recall.
they're considered an itinerant market, and so whenever a farmers market moves locations or is not year round, you have to issue them a new permit every
Okay.
year through that, and so this is just you've done this pretty much every
Great.
season before the farmers
Thrilled
market
that
starts.
the Sealy Lake Farmers
So.
Market continues on.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Okay, any further discussion or public comment? All in favor? Aye.
Did
Okay,
you know that was one of your many powers? Farmer.
on to action items. Okay, Bethany Gunther.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. I have some slides for you today. This is a very special day, and I'm very excited to present to you the FY25 Community Parks and Recreation Grant winners. Okay. So this year, grants program had $90,000 available to fund parks, trails, and recreation projects across Missoula County. Here is a map of where we ultimately awarded our projects to. And, looking at the map, I think we did a pretty good job with hitting a good geographic spread across the county. So with that, I'd just like to take a little time to go ahead and highlight all the projects that the Parks and Trails Advisory Board is recommending funding for through this grant program. Okay, so first up, we are recommending $29,470 be awarded to the Bonner Parent Teacher Association for playground replacement at the Bonner Elementary School. So the photos on the top are the school's current playground setup. It's apparent that this equipment has served countless numbers of children over the years, but its age and the materials that it's made with, the wood fiber, the metals, those have raised significant safety concerns. So an updated playgrounds, as seen on the bottom photo, which is actually the model of what the Bonner PTA will be installing, would definitely, breathe new life into the school grounds. Safety and accessibility would really be the forefront of this project. It would also create just a welcoming space for youth and families of Bonner to gather and play. This project would directly serve Bonner community as, outside the school grounds. There's really no other public parks or outlets for local youth within walking distance of the community. Okay. Was there a question? Sorry.
I just said it's fantastic. It's great.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, the next project that we are recommending grant funding for is going to be construction of a universally accessible picnic pavilion out at the Clinton Community Park, or also known as the Clinton Skate Park, the newly developed skate park. This project is internally sponsored by PTOL in collaboration with the Clinton Community Park Working Group, which is a group of dedicated community members who advocate for fundraise for the park. So we are ultimately recommending $20,000 in funding. Basically, this project would continue to support the build out of the park's master plan by providing some more supporting park amenities. It would also broaden the reach and utilization of the park just by providing a shared gathering space for non-skating visitors.
Hey, Bethany?
Yes.
Somewhat off topic, and the pavilion looks great, but in looking at the photo of the skate park in the bottom of the screen there, is it normal to have that significant of cracking going on with the concrete?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, we did actually bring this concern up to Evergreen Skate Parks, the folks that went ahead and installed the skate park, and they weren't concerned. They said that you'll kind of see some hairline fissures like that. They are recommending we do a concrete treatment every other year, so we are gearing up, working that into our operating plan to go ahead and do that over this season. But yeah, I'm not sure if that answered your question, but just
No, I
kinda
guess
what I
I'm
know.
not surprised that the contractor who put it in would say it's not a problem, but I mean,
Sure.
that looks like significant spider
eye.
webbing of.
Yeah.
See it, is it?
Can
Yeah,
you feel
definitely
it?
something we'll
Can you-
keep an
there you
eye
go.
on.
Can you roll a nice wheel over it or like?
I'll keep us posted
Yeah.
on that, yeah.
I will certainly make a note of that and continue to monitor that as we head into our recreation season, because yeah, I agree. We want this thing to go for longevity.
Yet again, my 100-year-old sidewalk without cracks in front of my house.
Special recipe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so moving on into our next project. So this would be, we are recommending $15,000 to go towards the Rock Creek Confluence property owned by Five Valleys Land Trust. So this funding would primarily be used for seating at a wetland viewing pavilion. You can see that up there in the top right-hand photo. Also, so this is a new universal trail that was built out at the Rock Creek Confluence property. With this funding, they would also like to install some audio and visual interpretive installments along the new trail. While the communities of Clinton and Rock Creek don't necessarily lack in surrounding public land to recreate on, developed recreation opportunities, and especially those that are accessible to individuals with mobility, auditory, visual impairments, those recreation opportunities are scarce in this area of Missoula County. So this project would directly benefit Rock Creek Clinton communities by removing some barriers to accessible recreation, providing something for everybody. Okay, breezing right through this. Next up, we are recommending funding for actually a new trail system in Seeley Lake, just north of town and the existing Nordic ski trails. So this project is sponsored by Scenic Montana Trails. This is an all-season mechanized recreation advocacy club in Seeley Lake. So thinking snowmobiles, OHV, mountain bikes, fat tire bikes, that sort of recreation uses. So the overall project is actually to create an all-season 28-mile multi-use trail system in consultation with Radius Trail Solutions out of Missoula, as well as with the Seeley Lake Ranger District on the Lolo National Forest. So the trails will be designed primarily for mountain bikes, but they will also appeal to other uses like hiking, snowshoeing, fat tire, e-bike access, as well as adaptive recreation. And so this entire project is estimated to span 3 to 10 years, estimated to be a $1.25 million effort. So what we are recommending is $15,000 in grant funding towards initial boots on the ground activities for the first 7.5 miles of this trail project. And so that includes trail surveying, trail alignments, corridor clearing, once the NEPA goes through. We believe that this project would benefit the community of Seeley Lake by expanding recreation opportunities through new trails. And of course, with that comes additional tourism revenue as typical when a trail system kind of offers something for everybody. Okay, and then this is the last project I'd actually like to highlight. This takes place at Westview Park in Lolo and is sponsored by the Lolo Community Council, Parks and Trails Advisory Board, recommending $10,530 in grant funding. And this would go towards construction of a seasonal ice skating rink at the existing sport court that you can see up in that photo. And it actually, there was some concern by Parks and Trails Advisory Board members that an ice rink would actually damage the sport court. However, it won't because we use a liner similar to our setup at Big Sky Park. So this project would directly benefit the community of Lolo by offering a safe and accessible space for winter recreation. Project is highly supported by the community. There's already been some volunteers identified who would donate their time, materials, and equipment towards the project. But yeah, just generally speaking, we believe that this would offer up more winter recreation opportunities for the community of Lolo. Generally winter recreation in that area is kind of limited to Lolo Pass or driving into town, going up to Glacier Ice Rink. So yeah.
Who manages the ice? How does the ice get maintained?
Yeah, so the ice would be maintained through community members, through Lolo Community Council members, as well as through our internal PTOL maintenance and stewardship staff. And kind of similar to kind of how we started up the Big Sky Ice Rink, it would be kind of a volunteer-led initiative.
It's working at Big Sky.
Okay,
It's
so
not
that's great.
working incredible, but it's working.
It's working.
I was out there at the end of the day yesterday. and
It's smooth.
Oh, okay.
It's smooth, and there were tons of people skating, and it's just wonderful to see it's being well appreciated.
Awesome.
That's great to hear. Yeah, we were looking ahead at some of these warmer temperatures, got us a little concerned for
Yes.
the longevity of the
And
ice
it's
rinks, but we're doing what
End
we
of
can.
February, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. We're almost into spring now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I'd just like to open it up to the board or members of the public. Any questions that you have for me? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
These are great projects.
Yeah.
Thanks
Is
a lot.
there anyone from the board on here? I can't see.
And she was mentioning
Us
as
as
a board.
Oh, I didn't know
Or she made
the advisory board was, if there's someone speaking from the advisory board.
I don't believe anyone from the advisory
Oh,
board's
okay.
on. Nope. Just in case you or the media had any questions for me.
This is great.
Griffin's
Yeah.
shaking his
This
head.
is-
We're all good, excited.
Missoula Current.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed,
Go
real
ahead.
quick, you may have said this, but where do the grants come from, that $90,000? Where does that money stem from?
Yeah. So that is appropriated every year within our budgets. It is taxpayer dollars.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
I would move the board approve the FY25 Community Parks and Recreation Grants. Second.
Any further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Great work, Bethany.
Thanks, Bethany.
Thanks all. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Great. Andy Chorney.
All right, yeah, I don't have pretty pictures like Bethany, but I've got some numbers.
As one would expect.
Just show us the money, that's all we want.
Well, I'm asking you to approve a bond anticipation note today for the amount of 15,675,000. There it is. We're finally getting around to financing the Gerald Marks Rocky Mountain Exploration Center and the rodeo grandstands. Rodeo grandstands came in around 5.2 million. The Gerald Marks Center came in around 19 million. Of that, we had an additional $5.6 million in contributions from the Conservation District, Healthy Acres, Weed Extension, and the contribution from the county, as well as some debt service payments we acquired in advance that was sitting there. So we're able to buy that down. Any issuance over $10 million, I try to go out for a public sale that is a sale where we have a broker dealer that sells to the masses. In order to facilitate this year, we had a March 1 deadline to reimburse ourselves for the Gerald Marks Center, keep the issuance tax exempt. So I had to go out and issue a bond anticipation note. I negotiated a 1-year note with Stockman's Bank, Ron O'Donnell, their chief investment officer out of Billings, for 5.5%, no origination fee, no prepayment penalty. Within that'll give me the 6 months I need to put together the public offering. And with the last offering, what we did is an accelerated debt service. You can see the blue lines there, they're kind of going upward. And that was to get additional funds for that first phase of the fairgrounds. Now with this debt issuance, what I've done is I've layered in the top portion and put most of the principal in the back end. And the reason being is that we've got an inverted yield curve, so our lowest cost of capital is on the back end. So that worked nicely for us there. And we're not paying a lot of interest on that money on the back end. And what this has also provided us with is level debt surface, which is wonderful. That's predictable. And this is also contained within the 6 mills you've originally allocated for the fair districts. So we're able to do both these projects and the existing fair work for the $2 million in debt service, or the 6 mills that we anticipate going into the future. The ban will close on the bond anticipation note next week, and then we anticipate taking it out probably within a 6-month period, paying approximately $400,000 in interest, which will roll into the next debt issuance when we go out. We've contacted Bank of America and Merrill Lynch. This is the scale they provided us. That's it, I think.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Work on that. We move that we approve and sign the resolution and bond anticipation note and related documents.
Any further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Great.
Legislative update.
Yeah, so good morning, Commissioners. A couple of bills to talk about this morning and one to update you on. I'll do the update first here. So House Bill 371.
Oh, we got a hand up there.
Sorry.
Sorry, Martin, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's me again. Sorry, guys. Hey, Andrew, what's the implication to taxpayers at those 6 mills? What does that equal to for the medium price home here in town or the county?
This was put aside quite a while ago.
This is good. This started in 2020. We've had this 6 mills in place that's been funding the work at the fairgrounds and then creating cash reserve, which we've used to buy down this. I'm not sure what the 6 mills costs on it.
So no increase in taxes
Yeah,
here. This is something that's already been in place for years, Martin.
Yeah, this is the same as it was in 2020.
Okay, great. So it's not a new tax. It's
Not a new,
ongoing.
nope, not a new thing. And in fact, as Andrew was pointing out, it's basically under budget. It's, we're able to meet the debt service with the money we set aside, and it will remain so, at least in the anticipated future.
Into
That flat line
Yeah.
looks really good. So no new money
Yeah,
would be required.
Read our lips. This is not a new tax.
I've read your list. Thank you.
This is a good one. Came in under budget. Good question, though.
Alrighty, so I'll do the update really quick here. So House Bill 371, which was the ban on mRNA vaccines for people, died yesterday on the floor of the House, 66-34. So, which was good news for us, for folks. COVID is the most known mRNA vaccine that we have, but there are other mRNA vaccines that are out there. We are watching today House Bill 418, which is the mRNA vaccine ban for animals. There are even more vaccines for animal the animal population that have been around for quite a number of years that are MNRA based. So we'll see if that one also dies, but we are watching that one today. And obviously we opposed both of those from the public health standpoint.
You can have the bill die or the animals die.
Yeah, so, good, yeah. House Bill 323 is known as the Reserve Deputy Pay Bill. House Bill 323 would allow the County Compensation Board. So folks who may not remember, the County Compensation Board is made up of the 3 county commissioners, 3 other elected officials, the county attorney, and then citizen members. They set pay for elected officials. It would allow the Compensation Board to set pay for reserve deputies. Missoula County already pays our reserve deputies. We don't have a ton of them, but they already do some security work at things like the fair or occasionally guarding a prisoner at the hospital and those kinds of things. We already have a pay rate. So this would actually remove our current pay structure, and we would need the compensation board to come up with a pay structure for them. It is optional for counties to pay reserve deputies. Obviously, it's primarily a volunteer, designed to be a volunteer-based thing, but this would move that into the world of the compensation board and away from the normal pay rules that the county has. So,
Well, why is that?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
it's a question.
What problem is this
This-
solving?
I'm not sure that they're attempting to solve a problem so much as they are attempting to recognize the work that is done in a lot of smaller communities by volunteers and being able to provide them
I think
some way to compensate those individuals for their time.
Could the compensation committee determine that compensation will be zero?
Yes.
That's
Correct.
so it's not ensuring that anyone actually gets
It
paid.
does not, but I think a lot of smaller counties may not necessarily have the same level of sophistication as our HR and payroll staff. And so we tackled these issues working with our attorneys many years ago about how do we recognize both the volunteer aspect of it and then provide compensation. And so we provide compensation when they're doing specific tasks, not necessarily when they're always there. So there are times when they are there just solely as volunteers. And then there are times where we're actually requesting them to perform a function and we pay them under those circumstances. And so that bill is going to be up. We're probably going to stay neutral since we already have that. It'll be a little weird for us to bring it to the compensation board, but my anticipation is we'll just bring it with the current structure and ask the compensation board to adopt the already existing HR policies that we use for this as the way you compensate reserve deputies in Missoula County. So we'll continue to watch that one though, just in case there are any changes as it goes through. Last bill to talk about really quickly, Senate Bill 277. That is the public employers can't withhold union dues at the request of the employee from their own money. That bill is up for hearing tomorrow morning at 8:30. So we'll be testifying against that. There are a number of, my understanding is there are some elected officials as well as chiefs of police and others who are and firefighters who are happy with this particular bill. So we'll testify on that bill tomorrow. And then today, as Josh is well familiar, House Bill 489, also known as LOPTRA, the Local Option Property Tax Relief Act. I think I actually got it in the right order this time, is up for hearing at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And so that bill would authorize Missoula County to put the question before the voters to have a tax on specific services and goods primarily related to tourism. That money would then be used pretty much 100% to offset property taxes based on the amount of revenue that it collects on primarily on residences and long-term rentals. And so that bill is up for hearing today at 3 o'clock.
Awesome.
So those are the ones we have for today, but I'm happy to answer questions if you guys have questions on any bills.
No.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, it doesn't look like there's anything.
Yeah, so just really quickly for folks, and Josh, feel free, this is just for folks, because the commissioners are out of the office for the next 2 weeks, if folks are wondering what Missoula County is doing related to bills, there is a Missoula County voice page where we put all of the information about the bills that we're working on. That's always available to folks. So even though we won't have it as an admin topic because we don't have admin for the next 2 weeks, folks can still see what's happening. And then, of course, when you guys are back and we have our next admin, we'll update you on where we are. But just in case folks are looking for that, it is always available, even though we may not be having this particular briefing twice a week for the next couple weeks.
Great.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
We're not out on vacation. It's Montana Association.
No, correct. Montana Association. Yep. As I say, good educational training and networking opportunities to be had by all.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
thank you.
Goodbye.
These